Hey guys, welcome again to the Maths Club. In this video, we'll be concluding our series on fractions, decimals, and approximations. So we'll be looking at past questions from 2014 to 2022. Let's get started. So the first question says that we should evaluate to four significant figures the multiplication of 573.06 times 184.25. So for this, I'll just say you should use your calculator. So if I search for my calculator, so this is 573.06 multiplied by 184.25. So we have 105,586.305. What did they say we should do? They said we should evaluate it to four significant figures, right? So if I want to evaluate these to four significant figures, this is significant figure 1, significant figure 2, 3, 4, right? So it's going to really end at this 6, or at this 5, right? But if I want to round it, the next value after it is more than 5, which is 8. So that means I have to add 1 to this guy. So the answer will be 105600. 105600. Let's see if we're correct. So 105600, which is our option A. Great. Now the next question is, find the value of x such that 1 over x plus 4 over 3x minus 5 over 6x plus 1 is equal to 0. So we have 1 over x plus 4 over 3x minus 5 over 6x plus 1 is equal to 0. So if I wanted to find the LCM of this, I already know from experience that the LCM of this would just be 6x, right? So 6x divided by x is 6 times 1, that would be 6, plus 6x divided by 3x, that is 2, times 4, that is 8, minus 6x divided by 6x, that is 1 times 5, which is 5, plus, so this 1 seems to say 1 over 1. 1 divided by 6x is 6x plus 1 times 1, that is 6x, which is equal to 0, right? So if I simplify the top, 6 plus 8 is 14. 14 minus 5 is 9. So this is 9 plus 6x all over 6x is equal to 0, right? Then I can cross multiply, right? So if I cross multiply, this would be 9 plus 6x is equal to 0 times 6x. And as you know, anything multiplied by 0 is 0. So I can be able to simplify this and say 9 plus 6x is equal to 0, right? So if I collect like terms, take this 9 to the other side, this plus 9. When plus 9 comes to the other side, what will it be? Great, so it will be minus 9. So this is 6x is equal to 0 minus 9, right? So 6x is equal to minus 9. Then I can divide both sides by 6, right? So that will be 6x over 6 is equal to minus 9 over 6. 6 will cancel 6, right? There's a common denominator. Remember what we did on reducing fraction. So 3 can go in both of them. So 3 here 2, 3 here 3. So our answer here is what? Minus 3 over 2. Now let's see if we're correct. Minus 3 over 2, which is option C. Great. So the next question says that correct this guy to 3 significant figures, right? We already know from what we did approximation, 0 before any non-zero digit is not included. So our first significant figure is 7, second is 9, third is 8, right? Because the value after the 8 is at least 5, I have to add 1 to the 8. So that will be 0.00799, and that is option what? Option C. Great. So this question says, what number should be subtracted from the sum of 2 1 over 6 and 2 7 over 12 to give 3 1 over 4? So I'm going to add these two together because say from the sum of this guy, right? Subtract the number, right, from that sum and make it to be equal to 3 1 over 4. Then find that number. That is what the question is actually saying. So let's break down what we have said. So we want to find the sum first. So that will be bracket 2 whole number 1 over 6 plus 2 whole number 7 over 12. Right, so after I find the sum, then I'll subtract the number from it. So let's say the number is minus x, right, and then it gives 3 whole number 1 over 4. So this is equal to 3 whole number 1 over 4. Just to be sure I'm correct. Great. So the first thing I have to do is I have to take care of the brackets first. Remember board mass that we talked about. 6 times 2 is 12. 12 times 1 is 13. So this is 13 over 6 plus 12 times 2 is 24. 24 plus 7 is 31. Right, 31 over 12 minus x is equal to 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus 1 is 13. So 13 over 4. Let's simplify the brackets first. So the LCM of these two guys is definitely going to be what? Great, 12, right? That's the LCM. Or the, yeah, so 12 divided by 6 is 2. 2 times 13 is 26. Plus 12 divided by 12 is 1. 1 times 31 is 31. Right, so minus x is equal to 13 over 4. So 26 plus 31 is going to give me 50 what? 57. So 57 over 12 minus x is equal to 13 over 4. Right, so let's collect like terms. So that will be minus x is equal to 13 over 4. This is plus 57, so it's coming to become minus 57 over 12. Right, so this minus x is equal to, now if you look at these two guys, what is the LCM? Great, right, that's 12. 12 divided by 4 is 3. 3 times 13 is 39. Right, minus 12 divided by 12 is 1. 1 times 57 is 57. Right, so we have to simplify the top. So minus x is equal to, you are owing somebody 57 naira, but you pay the person only 39 naira out of it. How much are you still owing the person? So you're still owing the person minus 18 naira divided by 12, right? So I can divide both sides by minus. So if I divide both sides by minus, minus will cancel minus. So our x will be equal to 18 over 12. And also we can still reduce this x, right? So 6 here 2, 6 here 3, right? So our x is equal to 3 over 2, or what? What else how can I represent 3 over 2 again? Great. 1 whole number 1 over 2. Right, so that's basically it. Let's see if we're correct. So we see 1 whole number 1 over 2, which is option B, and that is our answer. Great. So let's continue. Right, so this question says, if 2 over x minus 3 minus 3 over x minus 2 is equal to p over x minus 3 x minus 2, find p. So let's put it into words in it. So if 2 over x minus 3 minus 3 over x minus 2, right? So this is basically what we need to even focus on. I don't know I put the if, but let me remove it. Right, this is basically what we need to focus on. Then we'll compare it with this answer when we are done, right? So yeah, so if you wanted to find the LCM of this, the LCM of this is just going to be the multiplication of the two guys, which is x minus 3 and x minus 2, right? So this guy divided by this guy will remain, it will only leave x minus 2 remaining, right? Because x minus 3 will cancel out. So and that will be multiplied by 2, so that will be 2 open brackets x minus 2, right? Then minus 3 open brackets. This guy divided by this guy will only remain the x minus 3. So the x minus 3 will multiply the 3, so that will be minus what? 3 open brackets x minus 3. Close the bracket. So let's expand the brackets. So that will be 2x minus 4, 2x minus 4, minus 3x, minus times minus is plus, plus 3 times 3, which is 9, all over x minus 3, x minus 2. Great. So if I simplify further, so that will be 2x minus 3x, 2x minus 3, I don't somebody 3 naira, you pay the person 2 naira, right? That means you're still owing the person 1 naira, minus 4 plus 9, right? Which means now saying 9 minus 4. That will give me plus 5, right? So you're owing somebody 4 naira and you pay the person 9 naira. Of course, you already have a credit of 5 naira with the person. So all over x minus 3, x minus 2, right? So this is the simplest form that we can leave our answer. Let's now compare. That means if I do a comparison with what they add, my p should be minus x plus 5 when I simplify the solution. Let's see. So we have, this is not what we have. This is minus x minus 5, right? Option A is saying 5 minus x. Let's see. Great. So, addition is commutative. Commutative means a plus b is equal to b plus a, right? So if this can happen, that means it's commutative. So minus x plus 5 is also equal to what? 5 minus x, right? 5 minus x. Because how did I know this? If I said minus x plus 5 is equal to, I could say 5 plus minus x, Abi? But plus times minus is minus, so that is 5 minus x. So that's why I said 5 minus x. So that is our option A. Great. So let's see this particular question. It says, for what value of x is 4 minus 2x all over x plus 1 undefined? Remember, I will say something. A fraction is only undefined when the denominator is equal to 0. Right? So if you press in your calculator, we say 3 divided by 0, that you'll be having math error or something like that, right? So if you want to make this fraction to be undefined, that means that this bottom here would have to be 0, right? So if we know that, we're saying 4 minus 2x all over x plus 1, we said this bottom must be 0. So how can we make this bottom 0? So let's say x plus 1 is equal to 0. How can we make it 0? If I carry over this plus 1 to the other side, that would be x is equal to 0 minus 1. So that means x will be equal to minus 1. So if x is equal to minus 1, this bottom will be 0. Right? Let's see. So that will be minus 1 plus 1. Minus 1 plus 1 is what? Is 0. So that is the only time that this bottom will be 0. If x is equal to minus 1. And that's what they said. Find the value of x for which this guy will be undefined. So our answer is what? Our answer is B. Great. Minus 1. So we've entered 2020. So it says evaluate correct to 2 decimal places. 75.086 minus 34.624 plus 9.83. Right. So let's take it in bits. 75.0786. Yeah. 34.624. So minus 34.624. Right, let me do that first. So this is like 6 minus, this could be something as 0. 6 minus 0 is 6. 8 minus 4 is 4. 7 minus 2 is 5. 0 minus 6 cannot go. But remember what we did from number base. I said when I was talking about subtraction in base 10, right? I said you borrow 1 from this guy, right? And then you add, because we're actually working in base 10, so we're going to add 10 to this guy. If you remember very well. If you can't remember, you might want to check the video that will pop up at the top right to take you to what we did there. So we said if you borrow 1, that will be 4, we'll carry over 10, right? Because we're dealing with base 10. So 10 minus 6 is 4.0. 7 minus 3 is 4. So this is what we have from the subtraction, right? And then I said add what? 9.83. So this would be 9.83. So if I add this guy, so this would be 6, this would be 4. 5 plus 3 is 8. 4 plus 8 is 12. So I'll put down 2 and I'll carry over 1. Right? 1 plus 0 plus 9 is 10. So I'll drop down 0, carry over 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. Right? So the question says that we should leave it in 2 decimal places. So if we're saying this is the decimal point, so we need 2 decimal places, right? So that would be 50.2. The value after the 8 is less than 5. So it's not going to do anything. So that will be our answer is 50.28. Great. So which is option C. So this question says that we should simplify A over B minus B over A minus C over B. So A over B minus B over A minus C over B. Right. So let's find the LCM of these guys. What's the LCM of these guys? We only have 2 values, A and B. So the LCM is just multiplication of the A and B. Right? So AB divided by B is A. A times A is A squared. Minus AB divided by A is B. B times B is B squared. Minus AB divided by B is A. A times C is AC. Right? So this is A squared minus B squared minus AC. A squared minus B squared minus AC all over AB. Yeah, so that's it. Our answer is option D. Great. Let's go to the next question. So So this next question says that expression 5x plus 3 all over 6x open brackets x plus 1 will be undefined when x equals, so we want to find when x, we already said that for this guy to be undefined, this bottom guy would have to be 0, abi? So that's all we need, that's all information that we need. So we have 5x plus 3 all over 6x open brackets x plus 1, right? So we need this guy to be equal to 0. So that will be 6x open brackets x plus 1 is equal to 0, right? So this is I'm saying like 6x multiplied by x plus 1 is equal to 0. First things first, we know that anything multiplied by 0 is equal to 0. So that will be, if I say 5 times 0 is equal to 0, if I say 0 times 5 is equal to 0, right? So that means that one of these numbers must be 0 for the multiplication to be 0, right? So either this 6x is 0 or this x plus 1 is 0, right? Just like this, right? Just remember what we did here. So knowing that, we know that either this guy or this guy will be the one that will be 0. So we can say either 6x is equal to 0 or x plus 1 is equal to 0. Abi? Great. So if I divide both sides by 6, our x will be equal to 0. 0 divided by 6 is 0. Or, if I carry this plus 1 to the other side, that will be x is equal to what? Minus 1. Right? So either when x is 0 or when x is minus 1, right? That is when this guy would be undefined. So that would be either when x is 0 or minus 1. So this is in a set. So our sets will just be 0 and minus 1. Right? And that's option B. Great. So let's see, this is a word problem question. Right? And I actually love word problems. So a woman spent 1/4 of her monthly income on food. Before we go, let's say the monthly income is equal to x. So on food, she spent 1/4 of her monthly income. So that would be 1/4 of x, right? Which seems like saying x over 4, right? She spent 1/3 on the open market. So let's say market, she spent 1/3 of x, which seems like saying x over 3. And she now spent 2/5 of the remainder on mechanics workshop. So of the remainder, that means that she first add x. Let's say she first add 5,000, right? Example, she now spent 1,000 on food, abi, and she spent 500 on the market, right? How much does she have remaining? She would have 5,000 minus the sum of these two guys, right? Or 5,000 minus 1,000, then minus 500. So remaining, what she had remaining in this case here, so I just use those as examples. So that would be x minus what? Minus the 1, which is x over 4 minus x over 3, right? Remember, these are just examples that these 5,000, 1,000 are just basic examples that I used to express what I wanted to get at the end of the day. Great. So remember, the question says that she used what? 2/5 of the remainder on mechanic workshop. So on the mechanic workshop, right, she used, so if I say mechanic, she used 2/5 of this remainder, which is x minus x over 4 minus x over 3. If she saved the remaining 225,000, find her monthly income. So that means that after she even spent all of this guys, she still had the remainder of 225,000. But before we do that, let's simplify this remainder for this mechanic guy. So this would be 2/5 in brackets. Let's find the LCM. The LCM of 4 and 3 is actually 12, right? So 12 divided by 1 is 12. 12 times x is 12x. Minus 12 divided by 4 is 3. 3 times x is 3x. Minus 12 divided by 4, 12 divided by 3 is 4. 4 times x is 4x. Alright, so let me just simplify it. So this will be 2/5 times 12 minus 3 is 9. 9 minus 4 is 5. So that will be 5x all over 12. 5 will cancel 5. 2 here 1, 2 here 6. Right, so that means on the mechanic she spent x over 6. right, or 1/6 of her income, right? She now said we should find that if she had the remaining, if she saved the remaining 225,000, find her monthly income. So after she spent all of these guys, right, which is the x over 4, the x over 3, right, the x over 6, right, she still had the remainder of 225,000 which she saved. Let's also find her monthly income. So that means that by the time we say her savings was equal to the income that she had minus the sum of her expenses, right? So the income that she had was 225,000, right? Her income is, we said it should be x minus the sum of all her expenses. So her expenses are what she spent on the market, on food first, which is x over 4, right? So this will be x over 4 plus what she spent in the market, which is x over 3, plus what she spent on the mechanic, which is x over 6, right? That will give me a savings. So that means 225,000 is equal to x minus, so let's find the LCM. The LCM of 4, 3, and 6 is 12. But the reason why I'm not really I'm focusing on doing the LCM calculation is that we've done LCM before. So I believe that we already know how to find it. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. 3 times x is 3x. Plus 12 divided by 3 is 4. 4 times x is 4x. Plus 12 divided by 6 is 2. 2 times x is 2x. Alright, so let's simplify further. So our 225,000 is equal to x minus 3 plus 4 plus 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. So that will be 9x over 12 is equal to 225,000. So I can simplify further and say 225,000 is equal to the LCM of this guy is 12. So this is like saying over 1. 12 divided by 12 is 1. 1 times x is 12x. 12 minus 12 divided by 12 is 1. 1 times 9x is 9x. Right? So let's simplify. So that will be 225,000 is equal to 12 minus 9. That is 3. So 3x over 12. Right? So let's simplify. Let's simplify this fraction. 3 can go here 1. 3 can go here 4. So 225,000 is equal to x over 4. Right? So we want to find what x is. So I can just simply cross multiply, right? So x, which is our income, is equal to 225,000 multiplied by 4, right? So if you multiply this by 4, what would this give you? This will give you 900,000. 900,000. So if you look at our value, so that means our saying our monthly income is 900,000. So we now find the amount that she spent on the open market. On the open market, she spent x over 3, right? Or a third of her income. So on the open market, so this is I. So for II, which is the open market, she spent x over 3, which is 900,000 divided by 3, and which is 300,000. So our answer here is 900,000 and 300,000. Very good. So let's push on. So this one says, express correct to 3 significant figures, right? You are in 2019. So 3 significant figures. The first significant figure based on what we did on significant figures in one of the old videos, right? So we said significant figure starts from the non-zero digits. So this is 3, significant figure 1, significant figure 2, significant figure 3, right? But after the third digits, we have 7, right? And 7 is greater than 5. So 7 is going to add 1 to the 9, which will make it 10, right? I know we can't say 3, 5, 10. No. So that will be 0, right? Then we'll carry over 1 to this 5. So that will be 0.00360, right? So 360. 0.00360. That's option C. Great. So this question says simplify correct to 3 significant figures, 27.63 squared minus 12.37 squared. Right? So in this case here, I would just advise that I use a calculator. 27.63 squared, so that is like times 27.63, then minus what? 12.37 times 12.37. So this 610.4, but it said 3 significant figures, right? So this sigma figure 1, sigma figure 2, sigma figure 3. So after the 0, the value that is there is less than 5, which is 4. So it's not going to add anything to the other one, right? It's not going to add anything to the other one. So it's just going to be 610, and that will be our answer. That's option D. Great. So this question says that for what value of x is, okay, so this should be for what value of y, right, is y plus 1 over 2 minus 2y minus 1 over 3 is equal to 4. Y plus 1 over 2 minus 2y minus 1 over 3 equals 4. So first things first, we need to find the LCM. 2 and 3, LCM is 6. 6 and 2 is 3. 3 times this guy is 3 open brackets y plus 1, right? So minus 6 and 3 is 2. 2 times this guy is 2 open brackets 2y minus 1 is equal to 4, right? So let's expand the brackets. 3 times y is 3y plus 3 times 1 is 3. So minus 2 times 2y, that will be minus 4y, right? Minus 2 times minus 1, minus times minus is plus, so that will be plus 2 all over 6 is equal to 4. So let's simplify the numerator. 3y minus 4y is minus y, plus 3 plus 2 is plus 5, all over 6 is equal to 4. Great. So let's cross multiply. So that will be minus y plus 5 is equal to 6 times 4. Minus y plus 5 is equal to 6 times 4 is 24. So let's collect like terms. Minus y is equal to 24 minus 5. So minus y is equal to 19, right? So if you want to make y stand out, just divide both sides by minus. So divided by minus. So y is equal to, minus cancel minus, y is equal to minus 19, right? So our y should be equal to minus 19. Great. So our I is minus 19, which is option B. So look at this question. It says, which of these values will make this guy to be undefined, right? AP minus 1 all over p squared minus p, right? So for us to find the value that will make this guy, so you see that for us to find the value that will make this guy to be equal to 0, that means that this bottom must be itself equal to 0. So that is p squared minus p is equal to 0, right? So p squared is equal to p, right? If I carry over to this, so if I divide both sides by p, right? One of these p's will cancel one of the p's here. This p will cancel this p. So p, if p is equal to 1, this particular guy will be equal to undefined, right? So our answer is A, right? So this question says that given that 5b minus a all over 8b plus 3a is equal to 1 over 5, find, correct to 2 decimal places, the values of a over b. So let's go. So we have 5b minus a all over 8b plus 3a is equal to 1 over 5. So it's still knows that we should find a over b to 2 decimal places, right? So let's see. First things first, that we'll just cross multiply. That's the first thing that we'll do. So that will be 5 times 5b minus a is equal to 1 times 8b plus 3a. So 5 times 5b is 25b minus 5 times minus a is minus 5a, right? Is equal to 1 times anything is the thing. So that will be 8b plus 3a. So let's correct like terms. Let's put a together and b together. So if I put a together at this side, right, so that will be minus 5a, this plus 3a will convert, that will be minus 3a is equal to 8b minus 25b, right? So you are owing somebody 5 naira, you come again to buy something of 3 naira on credit, so that will be minus 8a, right? You are owing somebody 5 naira, you pay the person 8 naira, that means you are owing the person what? Minus 17 naira. So first is first, I can divide by minus, right? So what we have here is 8a 17b. Remember, what we want to get at the end of the day is a divided by b, right? So if I want to find a divided by b, I can divide both sides by, if I divide both sides by 17b, better still, I want the 8 to stand alone first, right? Because I want a over b. So if I want the 8 to stand alone, I can divide both sides by 8. So 8 will cancel 8. So my a will be equal to what? 17b all over 8, right? The next thing is that I want the b, right? Because I want it to be a over b, so I can divide both sides by b. So if I divide both sides by b, I'll divide this place by b, and I'll divide this place by b, right? So that will be a over b is equal to 17b over 8 divided by b, right? And what do we know about division like this? So that will be a over b will be equal to what? 17b over 8 times 1 over b, right? So b will cancel b. So our a over b is 17 over 8. But they said we should leave it in decimal places. So if I plug it inside my calculator, 17 divided by 8 gave me 2.125. A over b is equal to 2.125, but to 2 decimal places, right? So this decimal place 1 and decimal place 2. So the value after decimal place 2 is at least 5. So that will be 2. Add 1 to this 2, so 2.13. So that means our a over b is equal to 2.13. Great, correct. So let's move further. So in 2018 now, we're moving. So the question says simplify 2 number 1 over 4 times 3 number 1 over 2 divided by 4 number 3 over 8. So we have 2 number 1 over 4 multiplied by 3 number divided by 4 number 3 over 8. So let's change all of this to improper fraction first. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1, that is 9 over 4 times 3 times 2, 6 plus 1, 7 over 2 divided by 8 times 4, 32 plus 3, 35 over 8, right? Then the next thing first is that this is our division. Let's change this to multiplication. So that will be 9 over 4 times 7 over 2 times 8 over 35, right? If you look at the reason why I'm actually just expressing all of them at once, because multiplication and division, they have the same order of preference. If it was addition here, right, I'll have to do this part first, the division part, because of the board mass. I have to do the division part, but since it's addition and subtraction have the same level of this, division and multiplication, they have the same level. So if it's just, I mean, I don't need to be disturbing myself. 7 year 1, 7 year 5, 2 year 1, 2 year 4, 4 will cancel 4. So you know that we have 9 over 5, right? Which is whole number 4 over 5, right? Whole number 4 over 5, which is option D. So it says, this one is saying express 0.612 in the form x over y, where x and y are integers and y is not equal to 0. So we have 0.612. So in the previous video to this, in this series, we talked about converting decimals to fractions. So what did we say? We said step 1, we divide it by 1, right? Then we'll multiply by the 10 raised to the power of values after the decimal places, right? So we have 1, 2, 3 values after the dots. So that we're multiplying it by 1, 2, 3, which is 1000, or 10 raised to the power 3. Right, we multiply both the top and the bottom by that value. So the number of values after this is the number of tens. I'll multiply this 0.612 by. So if I multiply 0.612 by 1000, that will give me 612 all over 1000. So we can reduce this further by saying 2 in 6 is 3, 3 in 1 this will be 0, and 2 in 12 will be 6, 2 in 1000 will be 500. So in this guy will be 1, carry over 1. So this is 5, and this is 3, 250, right? So our answer is 153 all over 250, right? The division can be a bit messy, but that is our option A. So 153 all over 250. Great. So we're in 2017 now. So it says express and correct the two sigma figures. We know that the two sigma figures are the first non-zero digits. So this is the first one, this is the second one, but after it we have a value that is greater than 5, so that will carry over 1, so that will be 0.000041. That is option C. Great. So this question says that we should evaluate this guy, right? So let's see. 3 whole number 1 over 4 multiplied by 1 whole number 3 over 5 divided by 11 whole number 1 over 3 minus 5 whole number 1 over 3. Alright, so first things first, convert everything to a proper fraction. 4 times 3 plus 1, this is 13 over 4, times 5 times 1 plus 3, this is what? 8 over 5, all over 11 times 3 plus 1, this is what? 34 over 3, right? Minus 5 times 3 plus 1, this is 16 over 3, right? So if I reduce this one, 4 can go here, 4 can go here too, right? So if I multiply, this will be 26 over 5, right? Divided by the LCM of 3 and 3 is 3. 3 and 3 is 1. 1 times 34 is 34. Minus 3 and 3 is 1. 1 times 16 is 16. Right? So if I bring it down, this will be 26 over 5 divided by what? 34 minus 16 is what? What would that give me? That would give me 18. 18 over 3. So 26 over 5 times 3 over 18. Right? So 2 here 9, 2 here 13. Right? So 13 times 3 is 39. 5 times 4, 5 times 9 is 45. So 39 over 45. Of course, something else can also be reduced. 3 can go here 13. 3 can go here 15. So that is 13 over 15. If I simplify this further, right? And that is option B. 13 over 15. Great. So we continue with the next question. It says if x is equal to 2 over 3 and y is equal to minus 6, evaluate xy minus y over x. So let's go. And y is equal to minus 6, right? So xy will just be 2 over 3 times minus 6. So 3 here 1, 3 here 2. So 2 times minus 2 is minus 4, right? Then minus y over x. So let's say y over x. What will be y divided by x? That is like minus 6 divided by 2 over 3. So if I resolve this, is minus 6 times 3 over 2. 2 here 1, 2 here 3. And that is what? Minus 9. Right? So xy minus y over x. So if I replace it, xy minus y over x. When I replace it, this will give me xy give me minus 4, y over x minus 9, right? So minus 4 minus times minus is plus, so plus 9. Minus 4 plus 9 is what? That is 5, right? So our answer here should be 5, which is option B. Great. So the next question, it says evaluate 1 over 5x plus 1 over x is equal to 3. 1 over 5x plus 1 over x is equal to 3. So the LCM of these two based on experience is 5x. 5x divided by 5x is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Plus 5x divided by x is 5. 5 times 1 is 5 is equal to 3. So 5 plus 1 is 6. So 6 over 5x is equal to 3. And if I cross multiply, right, that will be 5x times 3 is equal to 6 times 1, right? So I can say 5x times 3 is equal to 6, right? Then I can divide both sides by 3. So if I divide this side by 3, I divide this side by 3. 3 will cancel 3. 3 will cancel 6. This will give me 2, right? So this is 1, 1. This is 1, and this is 2. So 5x is equal to 2. If I divide both sides by 5, right, 5 will cancel 5. So my x is actually equal to 2 over 5. So that is option B. The next question is saying the operation star is defined on a set of real numbers by x star y is equal to x plus y over 2. And it said x and y are members of real numbers. Real numbers are positive, negative, fractions, and all those things. Right, so it says we should evaluate 3 star 2 over 5. First off, we need to write the definition of x, right? X star y is x plus y all over 2. Alright, so it says we should evaluate 3 star 2 over 5. So 3 star, let me put this in brackets, 2 over 5. Right, so let's replace. We'll just replace it based on the structure they give us. So that will be 3 plus 2 over 5 divided by 2. If I resolve the top, that is 5. 5 in, so this lesson 3 over 1. 5 in 1 is 1. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 5 in 5 is 1 times 2. That's 2. All over 2. So 15 plus 2 is 17 over 5. And I can say divided by 2. Right? So 17 over 5 times, this will be 1 over 2. So this is 17 over 10, right? Or 1 number 7 over 10. Right, so 17 over 10 or 1 number 7 over 10. That should be for I. Then for II, it says if 8 star y is equal to 8 number 1 over 4, find y. So it says if 8 star y is equal to, if 8 star y is equal to 8 number 1 over 4, we should find y. We know that our equation is x plus y all over 2, right? So if I replace, this is 8 plus y all over 2 is equal to this guy. 8 times 4 is 32 plus 1, that's 33. So 33 over 4, right? So this is what is equal to if I resolve it. So if I cross multiply, right, this is 4 times 8 plus y is equal to 2 times 33, right? I can divide both sides by 2 first. So 2 will cancel 2. 2 will cancel 4, will give me 2, right? What will I have? I'll have 2 open brackets. 8 plus y is equal to 33, right? So 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times y is 2y is equal to 33. So 2y is equal to, correctly like terms, 33 minus 16, right? Great. So 33 minus 16 is what? That will give you 17, right? And 7, so if I want to make y stand, I'll divide both sides by 2. So my y is equal to 17 divided by 2, or 8 to number 1 over 2. Let's check our answer. So we have 17 over 10 and 17 over 2. If we compare with what we had here, so we had 17 over 2 and 17 over 10. Great. So let's go to the next question. So it says express 1975 and correct to 2 significant figures. So this significant figure 1, significant figure 2, right? After the significant figure 2, the next value is greater than 5. So we're going to add 1 to this 9. And because it's already greater than 9, it's already 10. I can't write 110 now, no. So I have to take the 0 from the 10 and carry over the 1, right? So what we have will be 2000, right? 2000, and that is option D. Now this question says evaluate 3x minus y over xy minus 2x plus 3y all over 2xy plus 1 over 2. Yeah, so when I see this question, I see xy, I see xy, I see 2, I see 2. So I already know that the LCM is going to be 2xy. 2xy divided by xy is 2. So that will be 2 open brackets 3x minus y minus 2xy divided by 2xy, that is minus 1 open brackets 2x plus 3y, then 2xy divided by 2, so that will be plus xy open brackets 1, right? So let's open the brackets. 2 times 3x is 6x minus 2 times y is 2y minus 1 times 2x is 2x minus 1 times 3y is 3y plus xy, so this will be plus xy all over 2xy. So 6x minus 2x, that is 4x. Minus 2y minus 3y, that is minus 5y. Then plus xy all over 2xy. So let's see our answer. We have 4x minus 5y plus xy. 4x minus 5y plus xy all over 2. So that's option D. Great. So let's look at this word problem. It says a farmer uses 2/5 of his land to grow cassava. If you notice something I do when it comes to word problem, I don't like to read the question to the end. I always try to, as I'm reading it, I'm interpreting. That is a very good way to actually be able to solve word problems. So imagine if the man's farmland is X, right? So it says he uses 2/5 of his land to grow cassava. So for cassava, he used 2/5 of X. And it says he uses 1/3 of the remainder for yam and the rest for maize, right? So he uses 1/3 of the remainder. So from this guy here, what is the remainder? The remainder is x minus 2 over 5x. This is very similar to that question that we did on a woman's salary. So if I divide this by 5, 5 in 1, 5 times x, that is 5x. Minus 5 in 5, that is 1 times 2x, that is 2x. So 5x minus 2x, that is 3x over 5. So this is the remainder, right? So the first one is uses for cassava, and the second one is that it uses what? 1/3 of the remainder for yam. So for yam, he used 1/3 of 3x over 5, which is the remainder. So 3 will cancel 3, right? So that is x over 5. So he used x over 5 for yam. And that's it. And the rest for maize. So after this, so out of this x, 2/5 I'll be taken from cassava, x over 5 I'll be taken from yam. And that says and the rest. So I have to find that remainder again. Right? When I find the remainder again, that will be x minus, the first one is 2 over 5x, or 2x over 5, and the second one is x over 5, right? So this will give me the remainder at this point. If I divide both sides by 5, 5 in 1 is 5 times x is 5x. 5 in 5 is 1 times 2x, that is minus 2x. 5 in 5 is 1 times x, that is x, right? So he uses what? This is 3, this is 2, right? So this is 2x all over 5. So the third one is basically he uses maize, right, which is the remainder, so 2x over 5. So he used 2 over 5 of the land for maize, right, based on what we calculated, because he said he used the remainder for maize. So that's 2 over 5, and that's option B. Great, so option B, correct. This question is from 2015. It says, without using mathematical tables or calculators, simplify this guy. So this is where board mass will come in very well. Board mass. Right? I told you addition and subtraction, they have the same level. Division and multiplication, if I this off-service multiplication, so all of these three, they have the same level. But you notice that the bracket comes first. Right? So in this case, I will resolve the brackets first. So if I extract the brackets, so if I say 5 number 1 over 3 minus 2 number 3 over 4, let me change it to improper fraction. So this is 3 times 5 plus 1, this is 16 over 3 minus 2 times 4, 8 plus 3, that is 11 over 4, right? Let's find the LCM. So this 12 divided by 3 is 4, 4 times 16, that is 64, minus 12 divided by 4, that's 3, 3 times 11, that's 33. Right, so 64 minus 33, that will give me 31 over 12. So by the time I resolve this bracket, I have 31 over 12. Great. So before I replace this 31 over 12, let me change all of the other guys to improper fraction. 9 times 3 is 27. 27 plus 4 is 31. So 31 divided by 9, divided by, I'll replace this guy with what I have here. 31 over 12 plus 10 times 5 is 50. 50 plus 9 is 59. 59 over 10, right? Now, because of, after the brackets, you can see the of, division, and multiplication, they come first before addition and subtraction. So I have to do division first. So if I want to divide these two guys, that will be 31 divided by 9 times 12 over 31 plus 59 over 10, right? Times, because this is division, that's to flip. Also, I have to do the multiplication first before I add. And as you can see, 31 can cancel 31, 3 can go here 3, 3 can go here 4, right? So 1 times 4 is 4 all over 3 plus 59 all over 10, right? So the LCM of 10 and 3 is actually 30. 30 divided by 3 is 10. 10 times 4 is 40. Plus 30 divided by 10 is 3. 3 times 59. So 59 times 3, that is 7, 2, 15, 70. So 177. So 177 plus 40, right? That's 7, 712. So 217 divided by 30. So 217 divided by 30. So they put it in terms of improper fraction. So if you look at it, 30 times 7, 30 times 7 is 210. So that means that I can be able to find 7, right? I mean, if I divide this, I'll have 7. Then if 217 divided by 30 is 210, that means it will remain, what, 7? And I can say over 30. So you can try this out on your calculator, right? You say that 217 divided by 30 would give you 7, then with the remainder of 7. So 7 on number, 7 over 30. Great. And that's what we have here. So this question is a word problem. It says 3/4 of a number is added to 2.5 of that number, or added to 2.5 of that number gives 13. Find the number. Right? Remember what we said. Remember I said 1/2 is 1 over 2. 1.5 is 1.5 is one whole number, 1 over 2. Then I said 3/4 is 3 over 4. So 3 over 4 of a number, let's say x, is added to 2.5 of that number. So it's added to plus 2.5 of that number, right? Gives 13. So it's equal to 13. So it's telling us to just find x basically. So let's see. So 3 over 4 x plus, I'll convert this to improper fraction. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1. That is 5 over 2x is equal to 13. Right? So the LCM of this guy is 4. 4 in 4 is 1. 1 times 3x is 3x. Plus 4 is 2. 2 times 5x is 10x is equal to 13. So let's resolve. 3x plus 10 is 13x. All over 4 is equal to 13. So if I cross multiply, so 13x is equal to 13 times 4. I can divide both sides by 13. 13 will cancel 13. 13 will cancel 13. So this is 1, 1, 1, 1. So x is equal to 1 times 4 is 4. So that means our value of x is really just 4. And that is option A. Great. Great. So this question says, when a fraction is reduced to its lowest term, it is equal to 3 over 4. Right? So when a fraction, so if I say 3 over 4, 3 over 4, if I had 9 over 12, 9 over 12, if I divide it to the lowest form to be 3 over 4, if I had 6 over 8, if I divide it to the lowest term, that is 3 over 4. So it says a fraction, let's say the fraction is x, right? In its lowest term, it is 3 over 4. So the fraction could be 9 over 12, 6 over 8, but it said in its lowest term, it is 3 over 4. The numerator of this fraction, when doubled, so if we say, let's say x over y, let's just say x over y, really, because it's a fraction. The numerator of this fraction, when doubled, will be 34 greater than the denominator. So this is the numerator. This numerator. So the numerator, when doubled, right, that would be 2x, right, would be 34 greater than the denominator. So the denominator is equal to y, Abi. So it will be y plus 34. Do you get? Normally our x over y is equal to 3 over 4, right? They now said if I double the numerator, that's 2x, it will be 34 greater than the denominator. So that will be y plus 34. And now says find the fraction. So we have two equations, right? In its lowest form, x over y is equal to 3 over 4, and 2x is equal to y plus 34, right? So from this equation, if I call this equation 1 and 2, so from equation 1, which is x over y is equal to 3 over 4. If I cross multiply, so that is 4x is equal to 3y, right? 4x is equal to 3y. So if I make this equation 3, right? 4x is equal to 3y. I got it from my equation 1, right? So I have to substitute this equation 3 in equation 2. This is a bit of simultaneous equation. So if some of these are looking strange, when we treat the topic on simultaneous equation, we can always come back to this video recording and you see that everything will just make sense. Great. So if I wanted to make x, before I make this equation 3, let me make x to stand alone. So x would be equal to 3y over 4, right? So this is equation 3, right? So I got this equation 3 from equation 1. So I cannot substitute in equation 1. I have to substitute in the other equation, which is equation 2. So substituting 3 in 2, right? So wherever I see x, I'll put 3y over 4. So that will be 2 times 3y over 4 is equal to what? Y plus 34. So 2 here 1, 2 here 2. So 3y over 2 is equal to y plus 34. So if I cross multiply, 3y is equal to 2 open brackets y plus 34, right? So 3y is equal to 2y plus 68. 2 times y is 2y, 2 times 34 is 68. So if I correct like terms, so if I say collecting like terms, so 3y minus 2y is equal to 68, right? And if I resolve 3y minus 2y, right, it's just y. So y is equal to 60. So we know what our y is, right? Next thing we need to find our x. We know from here that our x is equal to 3y over 4. So since x is equal to 3y over 4, I'll just replace what y is. We got y to be 68, so that will be 3 times 68 divided by 4. So 4 here 1, 4 here 1, 2, right? So 4 in 28 is 7, right? Because 7 times 4 is 28. So 17 times 3, right? That is 1, 2, that's 51, right? So our x is 51, our y. So basically our x over y is 51 over 68. So that's basically our x over y, 51 over 68. Great. So let's look at this question. So it says the operation star is defined on the set of real numbers by m star n is equal to minus n over m squared plus 1, where m and n are members of the real number, right? So if minus 3 and minus 10 are members of the real number, show whether or not the star is commutative, right? So remember I said something about commutative properties, that if something is commutative, let's say this is m star n, right? If m star n is commutative, that means m star n will also be equal to n star m. Alright, so if I get the same value for both, like if I flip these sides and I get the same value, then that means it's commutative. So in this case here, our m is minus 10, our m is minus 3, and then our n is minus 10. So if I replace, let's do our equation of m star n is what? Minus n all over m squared plus 1, right? So it's just saying the second value, right, all over the square of the first value plus 1. So if I had also, so that means my n star m, right? If I look at it, if I do like a comparison, right, now this should now be the second value, right, which is minus m all over the first value, right, which is n squared plus 1. So I mean, you can just see what I just did. It's just like second value, negative of the second value all over square of the first value plus 1. So negative of the second value all over square of the first value plus 1. If I can get the same value, then that means that it's commutative. So for this guy here, what am I going to get? So this will be minus, open brackets, minus 10 all over the m, which is minus 3 squared plus 1, right? This is what I'm going to, and if I replace this one, this will be minus 3 minus 3 all over minus 10 all squared plus 1, right? So minus times minus is plus, so this will be 10 over minus 3 squared is 9 plus 1, right? So this will be minus times minus plus, so this is 3 over minus 10 squared is 100 plus 1, right? So 10 divided by 9 plus 1 is 10, so 10 divided by 10, this is 1, right? And 3 divided by 1 or 1. So you can see, since we can now see if this is a distance, let's say since m star n, right, is not equal to n star m, right, the operation star is what? Is not commutative, right? This is the solution. So if you prove all of these things and you don't give a summary, right, and you don't give a summary, then what you've done is actually, I mean, the summary is really the real question, because at the end of the day, they wanted to say something. Is it commutative? Is it not commutative? Right, so that's basically it about it, and you can see. So the answer is that it is not what? Commutative. So with this, we've actually come to the end of fractions, decimals, and approximation, right? If anything is looking strange, please go through the playlist The playlist is in the description of this particular video. Go to the playlist and start from the beginning and solve it till you get it. In the next video, we'll be starting with indices. Right, so see you guys in the next video.